to start, we just wanted to provide, before we get too far into the metrics, the business improvement process and how it works. And a lot of the consulting arrangements, or when I get involved with helping my clients, this is the basic model that I follow. I've studied this for over a year and a half now, and tried to keep it as simple as we can. But hopefully we can take something out of today. And what I would encourage you, I use this with business, I use this with family decisions, I use this with personal decisions. And my wife said, "Thank goodness, Rob, that you are presenting this today, because we're tired of hearing about it." So I think the overview, I think there's a lot that we can gain from this. Purposely, the now, where, and the how, the colors that we associated with each of these arrows. The now, if you notice, it's red. The where is yellow, and the how is green. The traffic light. So I guess the question I would ask to each of you: we know what we do when it's red. We know what we do when it's green. But the most critical part in what we do is where. So I would ask all of you to take a self-reflection. We know what we do at the traffic light when it's yellow, but at this point, it's a key element of what we do that we stop and we pause. So when it's yellow, we need to slow down and digest what we're trying to do, because that's really a key miss point in terms of the overall business improvement process. To summarize the now, that's the baseline in terms of where we're at. We're putting a stake in the ground. The where are the performance outcomes and results that we want to achieve, and the how are the drivers and enablers. When I mentioned the yellow light, when we go through these various processes that we're going to talk about next, it's very easy to go from identification of what the issues now are to just start to implement, opposed to just vaulting over the where and really defining where we're going to be, what's success going to look like, how do we benchmark success. Just in terms of the now, I was talking to Phyllis earlier. I said I feel, through all of my consulting engagements, this is the process that I follow, and I feel like I'm sharing my tricks. It's not anything that's too extreme. It's very basic, but the way that we approach this as we interact with people, and some of the people in this room have gone through it with a client experience, so possibly you'll know where my questions were coming from and how we interacted with one another. One of my favorite tools is the magic wand, and as we talk to people, we're in a very technical world. The magic wand is, what is the ideal situation? If you're talking to the accounts payable clerk, the CFO, the director of operations, whatever it may be, the magic wand is take out cost and take out time. What would be the ideal situation? I mentioned that I use this with my family, and I wish I would have never asked, just from what their magic ideal world is. Mind mapping is another tool that we utilize. It basically, the magic wand and the brainstorming, or the magic wand and the mind mapping are basically brainstorming techniques that are utilized, but two tools where you're just capturing ideas, thinking outside of the box. One thing that has helped me tremendously in my career is the Pareto analysis, which is that you spend 20% of your time on 80% of the value. And I would challenge everyone to take a pause and think about what that means. Your day-to-day activities and the value that you provide to your company, to yourself personally, how much time do you spend on things that are valuable? 20% of your revenues may come from, or 80% of your revenues may come from 20% of your clients, your customers. How much time do you spend with them? Or do you spend your time on other items that really are not of value? And that's something you really have to look at from an internal side of things. But continue to think of the 20% of the time that you spend on 80% of the value. If you can leverage that to get that up to 30%, by definition, you become more valuable. So it's a concept, it's something to think about, and I think it would be interesting. We go through it with our team here at Chrysler Miller, that, you know, what value do you bring? And the interesting thing that I think we all have an understanding or perception of what we feel value is. Ask others what value you bring to the organization. Before we're thinking, I think I'm valuable because X, Y, Z, but value of your peers may be something, you know, completely different from where you actually are. The five whys, my children love this. The five whys are, when you identify an issue, to continue to ask why, to make sure that you're getting to the true root of the issue. I have numerous experiences where you start at the top as to what the issue may be, and as you continue to inquire down, the true answer or the root of the cause is not even close to where the initial issue identified was. So it's something, you know, the five whys, and as I was going through training class, you know, I said, well, what if I know the answer by the third question? Well, you don't have to ask why 5 times, but you should ask why until you get the answer.